Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jen. He's the king of grill graves. But he got canceled 15 years later and got a reboot.
Was that a mouthful for you?
Yes, it was a mouthful for me.
I was like, hey, buddy, you kind of stumbling over your words
I
there.
I stumbled on my words. But today we are on King of the Hill, episode 6.
I figured you'd go with some other stuff that was in there, like, he lied about Peggy.
He's a sexy rat.
Yep, something like that.
I don't know. King of the Grill just, I don't know. I just gravitated towards it, and I was like, I'm going to go with King of the Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how there's these small shimmers of, like, fourth wall breaking almost.
It was a big
but not really.
wall breaking.
But not really. I mean, it's kind of there, but it's not.
I have to say, I love this episode and hate this episode at the same time. I hate certain aspects of this episode. And it really comes down to when we get to it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to spoil it. Let's just get into it. Let's
just get into it.
So our story or episode starts out with,
I do have to say one thing though.
What?
It's weird that I remember you telling me stuff about this episode, and I was like, man, I remember that as if it was like almost yesterday. But then I was like, but you told me like it feels like almost a month ago.
Yeah,
like,
I think it was probably like a month ago or something. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, we were kind of like covering these at like a regular basis, but then we threw Peacemaker in the
that's true.
The shuffle or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which a part of me just wants to cover Peacemaker because it's been getting so good. It's like,
right?
I was like, oh my fucking god.
I feel like one of these weekends we gotta clear the docket so it can be like, hey, you just want to record like 4 episodes a day? Yeah, let's do it.
I know.
Like get some stuff done, and then be like, hey, we've gotten all these done, but at least we got to watch the show,
You mean like back in the good old days of Otakuology where we would binge record like 4 episodes in a day?
Yeah.
Because we were trying to keep on this weird schedule, and we had such like rigid schedules where we could only record on like Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was like every other weekend we had to do it.
Yeah. We had that, and then we'd have those random like, hey, let's just do a live today and we're gonna build models.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was like sometimes there was a structure, and then other days it was like there's no structure. We're just hanging out.
Just two dudes hanging out, building our plastic robots.
But to get back into our story, I do feel like that's kind of how Joseph and Bobby kind of sort of are.
Yeah,
they don't build robots or anything, but
no, they sit outside and eat burritos and watch people make out and shit.
They watch the tube. So we started this episode off, right?
With Peggy trying to get a job.
Yeah, which was really kind of disheartening /
which was
I kind of really want to know if Peggy didn't get it, not because of like part of the stuff, because I mean I do kind of see that it is almost like she's reaching too high, but I really want to know, like, behind the scenes, if Peggy has almost been blacklisted.
Well, here's the thing, like, she hasn't had a job in, like, what, 5 years, I think it was?
Yeah.
Or however long they're gone for. Like, she has no, like, credentials at all when it comes to, like, jobs for a job application. And like she put down that she bartered with Saudi Arabian merchants.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they had to be like, well, that's not a really good credential for
that's not
anything.
a good qualification.
It doesn't take up 2 years of experience in the workplace or
And like
whatever.
have like some kind of master's degree or whatever in economics or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought it was really funny that like so like Min has like a vlog or YouTube channel or something about
Yeah.
like gardening, and like Peggy was like, oh cool, Min has a blah blah blah, and she's like, unsubscribe. Like she was jealous, I feel like, that Min was doing better than her
Yeah.
in
Well,
in
and it
life.
was really weird that that's how we see Min for the first time in this too.
No,
Because,
we see her like, I think in like the first or second episode. I want to say maybe, I don't remember.
like,
I,
in person?
I think it's in like the first episode we see her with like Nancy maybe, but I don't remember. But here's the thing, like, so like later on, I think it's in like the next, not the next episode, but the one after.
Yeah.
We only see Khan and Min like in that episode. They only get one episode dedicated to them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, we see her, and she.
They're going to be like Abu from The Simpsons.
No, because they just get recasted, and then Khan's voice actor, well, he's a good actor. I don't think he pulls off Khan very well.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I don't feel like he does.
Who was that? Who you were talking about before? Because I feel like I caught it today. When you said that when Dell's voice actor originally died, and who took his place?
So the guy who took his place was he's an actor, but he did a lot of voices on King of the Hill. I forget what his name is, but he played like Cotton Hill, and he played the original Khan Super News and Phone.
Okay, yeah.
He's a white guy. He's a white guy. And
that's what I was thinking, but I caught a little bit of it today because the first couple times when we've talked about it, like I felt like he was pretty spot on Dell, and there's just something about it today that I noticed when he was in Bobby's restaurant where it was like he said something and I was like, oh, that's not the same guy.
I have to say though,
yeah,
he blends it for the new voice actor for Dale, which I was very skeptical when they announced this. Because, I mean, you can't replace the guy who did Dale's voice. He was like one of a kind.
Right.
He does a very good spot-on voice where sometimes I get lost in it and I forget that it's not Dale.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a little nuance and stuff in his voice to where you do like, okay, that's not Dale. But sometimes it's kind of hard to like, distinguish almost which one is Dale and which one's not Dale. Like,
Yeah, I'd almost argue you could make a pretty good argument for like how now that they're older, that maybe Dale's lost part of his voice a little bit, and that's why
maybe from the smoking.
That could be it too. That'd be a really good thing of why the voice is a little different.
Yeah. So Peggy's complaining to Hank. She's complaining to Hank that, she doesn't really know what to do. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't figure this out. And so
I do have to say, when she goes to complain to him, this is the first time we've actually watched him watching like an actual like home improvement show. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad we finally got this.
He's watching Property Brothers, and he's just criticizing the Property Brothers like all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, of course you would do that. You're just wasting your money. You should do this.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
I was very pleased that they had this part in the... Because, I mean, everything else we've ever seen him watching before has been soccer. It's been the priest...
I forget what his name is.
Yeah. But we haven't seen him watch anything that is basically like related to like home improvement projects or tools or anything else like that. So it was really good to finally get that. And he's sitting there just watching it and criticizing it. I'm like, I feel like we're kind of getting way back to classic Hank again.
Here's the thing, though. Like, in the original series, I don't remember him watching a lot of TV, except for
That's
when it
true.
came to like sports or like fishing or maybe golf or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember him watching a lot of TV. I remember that being like a Peggy Bobby thing that watched a lot of TV.
Yeah.
But I guess he's trying to fill his time. And so this is where I can't remember exactly where the story splits off. Do we go from him, Hank, talking to the guys in the alley, or is it to Bobby and what's going on with this job?
I think we go back to Bobby.
Okay. You want to take this one?
So we go back to the restaurant, and Bobby, you're gonna have to name the other show though. Bobby is doing like a practice recording
For King of the Grill.
Yeah.
It got canceled 15 years later,
and now they're trying to bring it back. So it's kind of a throw at King of the Hill a little bit,
A little bit.
Yeah, obviously. And so like he's got it, and then I don't know if it was supposed to be Emilio was supposed to be recording or if it was just a test. But they do that. They're about to do like another test run of it, and a rat pops out.
Yeah.
And right at that moment, he also sees that Chang and his dad are coming in, and they're gonna have like an income meeting or a financial meeting.
A financial meeting, yeah.
Which I have to say, I really love this part because he's like, Emilio, don't let him out of the kitchen, talking about the rat.
Yeah.
And Emilio automatically pulls out a handgun, and he's like, Emilio, don't shoot the rat.
He's like, oh, okay.
And I was like, this is so great. Like, Emilio is the guy that you would want to be best friends with. Or like be on your kitchen staff. Yeah.
I feel like, we only get to see him like in the kitchen. We never get to see Emilio like out and about or hanging with Bobby or something. Like, I want to see like what's the day in the life of Emilio. Like, what's his day like?
That would be a really good episode, just Emilio's episode.
Yeah, like what does he do on his day off?
Yeah.
And so like Bobby is like, oh shit, I forgot we got to have this meeting. He goes to talk with Ted and Chang. I don't know why I blanked on his name. And he's talking about how, like, we are ahead in our profits for the restaurant. We projected like a 2-year profit, I believe it was. But it's like 18 years to make like a profit, I think. And
No, it was supposed to be a 2-year profit, and Bobby got it down to a year and a half.
Okay.
So he made it a year and a half instead of the 2-year profit margin. And that's when Ted was like, oh yeah. He goes, well, that's good because Chang has gotten like a speeding ticket or something else like that.
He wrecked his car, I think it was.
Which is chipping into that profit. And so saving that amount was actually a good thing and wasn't a loss for Ted because of Chang, which is just kind of like, what
I have
the
to
fuck?
say, which we find out that Bobby is like 15% owner in this thing.
Yeah.
But he pulls the same wage as Emilio.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I feel like Bobby got the raw end of the deal on this one.
Yeah, but I mean, he keeps going back to like that's the way it had to be so that he could run the restaurant the way that he wanted to. And all these stipulations. Like, I feel like Bobby's the one that really put a lot of that on himself. But at the end of the day, it's all like it rests on his shoulders, and he knows that he can probably get that when he wants.
I kind of hope like he buys Chang and Ted out at one point, eventually.
I mean, or at least gets up to 50%. I mean,
so I gotta say, like, I don't like them as characters. I don't think they've evolved over time. And they're just annoying.
The only thing that I feel like Ted hasn't done is where Ted used to sit there and laugh at all the other characters about how his success is. He's really come off of that, and it's really more so oh, my son's stupid. Like, I feel like that's how
Yeah.
Ted usually comes off. So it's almost like he doesn't criticize the rest of the dads or the rest of the guys anymore. It's he criticizes Chang so much for his stupidity. So I do like that part, and I do feel like that's growth for Ted. But then the thing is that Chang takes up the rest of that stupidity and is like tenfolds it, you know. So just like we
Yeah.
see in this part where they're having this finance meeting, and Bobby's like, "Hey, you know, I've saved you money on this stuff, and now Chang wrecked his car, or Chang's done this, or Chang's done that." It seems
Which,
like that's what it always is.
like, I don't understand why Chang is in this business. He doesn't do anything
I can tell you exactly why he's in that business.
for the money.
No, I think Chang is a part of the business because it's a project his dad wants him to have, and it's also his. This is my reason for saying that I'm giving you money instead of just giving it to you directly. And I don't think he would have come up with this proposal if it wasn't for Bobby.
Yeah.
Because Bobby is basically the glue that holds Ted and Chang's relationship through the restaurant together.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, we go from that to Bobby tells them about the rat, and they're like, "Well, deal with it yourself," you know. And he's like, "But y'all cut into my extermination budget." So
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like they're trying to
I really want to know where the money for that budget went.
I feel like they're trying to really penny pinch and nickel and dime this establishment. I got
I see. I'm on the fence about it. Right. I think yes, but I really think it falls back on how much of a fuck up Chang is. So
yeah.
I think that's why Ted's having to be put in that position. But the other thing is like, think about it like a couple episodes ago. Well, I guess it was like 4 episodes ago when, you know, he bought all the stuff to do the beer,
Uh-huh.
you know, and it was like he did that and it was like this big thing. And I mean, they still should have that stuff. If not, they could have sold it for a pretty penny
Yeah.
still, you know, with all that. And so I don't understand why they couldn't have done advertisement stuff like Bobby asked in this episode. It was like, well, we can't ask for any more money.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why they did that or didn't do that exactly, or why they're complaining so much about this budget, which I mean they don't run. They're just the money guys. Like they don't run the business.
Right.
At all. They're not in the day-to-day operations of this business. And it's just I don't know, it's just something that bothered me. It
Yeah.
reminded me so much of Buck Strickland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but we move from that to to Hank talking to the boys, and we find out that Bill has some friends to go see
Yeah.
over at what was West Arlen or North Arlen or something,
I think it was West Arlen,
and he's gonna go hang
which
out with his
was
friends.
fucking hilarious when everybody, Boomhauer and Dale and Hank are like, what friends you got, bro?
You have friends?
Like they were giving him the look and everything, and he's like, well, yeah, I have friends.
I have friends. They're cool. And he leaves, and but he was like, oh, thanks to Hank, I get to reconnect with them and stuff because he was depressed and he was overweight and stuff, and Hank helped him out of his rut to go see his friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Bill has friends, and then this is when Dale chimes in. They're fake friends. There's no way that Bill Dotrieve can have more friends than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on here? And
Oh, it was great.
and I think doesn't Hank go back inside or he's testing batteries or something? And Peggy comes up and he's like, hey, did you know Bill has friends and he's going to go hang out with them? And then this is when Hank goes to he goes to tail and follow Bill, where we see that Bill has like a part-time job, I think, at a barber shop.
Yeah.
But he also goes there to hang out with his friends. His friends work at the barber shop.
Yes.
To be clear, it's a black barber shop, which Hank kind of stops and he sees Bill, like, handshaking, hugging, dabbing him up, and like Bill sees him, and like Hank gets out of his car and starts talking to him, and we find out that after Bill retired, he needed something to do, and so Brian actually gave Bill a suggestion: "Hey, go check out my cousin's barber shop." Which Bill said he didn't know it was going to be a black barber shop.
Yeah.
Even though Brian's an African American guy, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Like, Bill didn't know that, and he's like, "Yeah, I started coming in."
Then the fact of him bringing it up, like, well, I should have known it was a black barbershop because Brian's black, and you're like,
yeah.
How did you not connect those dots already, Bill?
Yeah. So his cousin works there, and so Hank goes in to
his cousin owns it.
Yeah, he owns it. Sorry, he owns it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I forget which one's his cousin.
The first one.
The first one? Okay.
Yeah, the one with the goatee and the kind of like the short afro.
Okay. So he goes in, Hank and Bill go in, and they all kind of stop and look, and he's like, "Hank Hill, propane and propane accessories retired. How's it going?" And like they're like, "Hank? The Hank Hill? Oh my God." And I was like, what's going on here?
Man, I'm praying for you, and
I'm praying for you. Are you sure you can be around all these razor blades and scissors and stuff? And oh man, he's not as obese and fat as like you said.
Yeah, he's not as depressed.
Yeah, and Hank starts putting the pieces together, starts putting the puzzle together, and we find out that Bill has basically taken Hank's life, sort of, and been telling the guys all these stories and stuff, and Hank is basically taking the role of Bill.
Yeah.
And we find out that Bill has taken a make-believe Peggy as his wife and might have had poorly photoshopped pictures of him and Peggy together, and like Peggy in like a swimsuit and a lingerie, which I'm like, why would he have that up like at the barbershop? I can understand like a picture of him and Peggy together, but why a picture of Peggy in like lingerie?
Right. Well, and then we have that whole part where they walk out and Hank's telling him, how to kick your ass and everything.
Yeah.
And he's like sitting there and he goes, and you're sitting there and you're talking about my wife or, and all this other stuff. And basically, and the one phrase that fucking stuck out to me was, you're half a commandment down from adultery. And I was like, what? I love that. Because and Hank didn't really come out and say it, but he basically inferred, is Dale using these pictures for more
Bill
than just Bill? Yeah, is Bill using these pictures for more than just the fake story?
Yeah.
And I liked how they did kind of lean into that, because I don't feel like we would have really gotten that in old King of the Hill per se.
Yeah, I mean, it was really funny. Like, I did not expect that to happen. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it threw me for a loop.
I imagined something like that was going to happen. I didn't know that the extent of it was going to go as far with all this shit with Peggy.
Yes, and we'll get to what happens with Peggy. Like, so, like, Hank is like, you got to call it off. You got to tell him, like, this is, like, a lie or something, like, and Bill's kind of like, oh, I don't want to like mess up my friendship and whatnot with the guys, you know, and but they were just really funny, like really funny. Like I love the whole scene when they were in the barber shop, and
it was great.
So we cut away from them to Dale. No, sorry, to Joseph.
Well, we did forget a part, which was where Connie came. No, you're right. It's after that.
Yeah, Joseph. He's working on his construction crew, and he notices Chang. And he sees Chang smooching on a blonde girl, a blonde girl who's not Connie. And Joseph quickly like snaps a video and sends it to Bobby, and I guess Bobby sees it by this time, and like we get to the whole thing with the rats, which ends up calling Dale Gribble, and he's like he starts setting up these traps and stuff, and he sets like a trash can with like a 2x4, like I think it's like a piece of cheese or something on it, or rice.
Yeah, it's like a rice ball, I think.
And he's like, "What's the camera for?" He's like, "It's for my Patreon." I imagine Dale making like, well, he doesn't make a lot of money because he says he doesn't make a lot of money with like his extermination gig.
No, I think his Patreon makes him enough money to not think about the extermination stuff. Yeah, because he brings that up, that whatever his phrasing is that he's been saying, and Bobby's like, you do know that basically means like you're working for free. He goes, oh, well, that must be why I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, he was like, I just thought it meant like, you know, get like a discount or something, you know, at the restaurant. And when he sets up this camera and like the rat just like moves the board over and gets the rice ball.
Yeah.
Which I imagine him like posting different videos of him catching animals or killing animals, and that's his entire Patreon. It's just that.
Either that or moments where he fucks up.
True.
I mean, he probably doesn't think about it. He probably just records it and then posts it. So
yeah, probably. And then we see him come up with this thing. He's like, "Darn it, the rat's too smart." And we see
the Judah rat.
It's Judas rat. The Judas rat is what it's called. Which it's a rat with like a Fitbit watch or Apple Watch attached to it, and I think it has like dynamite attached to it too, because he wants to
blow
the rat up, to which causes the other rat to blow up. I think it is.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, "Don't blow up the fucking rat! Like, come on!" Which he loses Judas rat. He loses it, and this is where we get the whole thing with Connie. And I'm just going to let you take this part. You can take this part.
So we have all the stuff with Connie and how virtually Bobby tries to confront Connie about, hey, you know, Chang's basically like doing this stuff behind your back. You know, I wanted you to know about it because, you know, supposedly y'all are dating. Mm-hmm. And Connie brings up that they are E&M, ethical non-monogamy.
Which, is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
It's an actual thing? Okay, I didn't know if it was made up for this show or what it was.
No, E&M is like the umbrella for like everything that is like open relationship, polyamory.
Well, I thought it was just like a weird term for open relationship.
No, it's yeah. So if you ever see E&M, that's what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, and so there's that, and God, there was so much stuff to this.
So much stuff.
It was like, well, we have pre-sorted agreements.
Things. Yeah, which
and
one
so,
of them
one
is
of Chang's was a full sorority house.
Yeah, and I think Bobby was like, "Is there like a full fraternity?" And she's like, "Hey, don't slut shame me."
Yeah.
How dare you try to slut shame me? And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't like this.
Yeah,
I got to be honest. Like, I don't like this for the character of Connie. I get
yeah,
it. You know, they're trying new things when they're in college and stuff, experimenting. I just feel like Connie's a little bit fucking smarter than this
yeah.
and wouldn't do this as a character.
I mean, I understand enough of it. I feel like she's scared enough that she can get in the physical relationship with stuff, but she still wants somebody to fall back on, like Chang, and to also know that she has that whole thing. If she wanted to cut it off with Chang, she could, because there's really
Yeah,
no tie there.
and she's
But
really only doing it because of her parents, I believe. Like, they've always pushed her to Chang.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. It's something that I didn't like for the character personally.
yeah, yeah. I just don't feel like we got enough of it for Connie, because the way that it kind of felt like to me is that really the agreement was for Chang, even though she tried to say a lot of stuff with it. We haven't ever seen her with another character. We haven't
No,
seen
and
anything else about it.
she she
And
even she even
I
says,
I feel like she ratted herself out too whenever she's like, "Well, I'm also doing like two different jobs or trying to get two different degrees." So
yeah,
she didn't really have time for that anyway. And
she
I
doesn't.
think that
Yeah, she
to
doesn't.
Bobby, it was just a cop out. I really think that it's for Chang. And it's probably so that her and Chang can fool around when she wants them to, but Chang's not always going to be up in her grill trying to be like, Connie, I need it, you
Yeah,
know?
Connie, I need you. Oh, I need your attention. Like, she's like,
So,
yeah, we're official, but like, I don't have time for you, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Like, she likes the idea of a boyfriend, but she technically doesn't have a boyfriend.
yeah. Well, and I would say too, like, the other thing is like, she knows she gets along with Bobby. If she is E&M, I don't understand why she wouldn't try and, like, get that role in the hay with Bobby as well. But
Which Bobby tries to push it.
he
Bobby does try
does.
to push. He tries
He
to
does.
push it.
And Joseph does it at one point too, but it's not,
Yeah,
it's not as bad.
and she was like, "Bobby, you're not E and M material," and he was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you're
Yeah.
too sensitive or whatever," and like, it just, it's crazy. It's something that I personally don't like for the character,
Yeah.
and it's one of like the biggest, I feel like, missteps almost for the character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a personal preference. Like, I always thought Connie was like being a smart person and being a
Yeah.
very like person with like a good head on her shoulders. And I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But when we get to the new character, when the new character gets introduced in this, I actually really like the new character.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But anyways,
so then we go back to where Hank tells Peggy
yes,
about
about
what Bill's
everything
been
that
doing.
happened, and
And
she's really into it. She wants to know what Black Barbershop Peggy's life is like.
oh my God. And I don't know how many times I felt like if there was a world record for it, the amount of times that Peggy says black barbershop, I mean, was very uncomfortable. I'm just gonna say that.
She was like making this whole life up in her head about this fake person persona and stuff, and like, which
Yeah.
she, I think, was it her or was it, she was going to go talk to Bill, I believe it was, right?
Yes, yes.
And
And then
she does.
she wanted Bill to basically put in like a good thing about the schooling,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess she felt like, well, if I can't really literally have it, then I can get Bill to lie about it, and that will help out this alternative version of myself.
And Bill would do anything for Peggy, so you
And then
know.
and then Bill goes to the weird other side,
Bill,
the left field.
I feel like Bill could have gotten her to show up at the barbershop, but he fucking like pushed it too far.
Yeah, he did. You could give me a little kiss on the lips, just
And
a little. And he starts licking his hand and everything, and I was like, Bill, I have to say, only because I recently got done with the recent season of Bob's Burgers, Bill gives me strong Teddy vibes. And I mean, and you know how weird Teddy is, and I feel like him and Bill would be the best of friends and in the same fucking boat. Like,
Bill is proto Teddy.
Yes, I would agree with that. If Teddy ever said he wanted to learn how to cut hair, he would be a Bill. If Bill ever said, I want to learn how to be a handyman, that would be Teddy. I mean, they are like mere images, I feel like, almost of each other without going into the same stuff. I mean, Bill was super depressed and ate a lot. Teddy's been depressed and he eats a fucking hamburger, seems like twice a day. You know, like, read between the lines. You know, they could technically be, I guess, like brothers or something.
Yeah, and
that
so
would
like
be funny.
Bill wanted Peggy to show up to the shop because the guys started getting suspicious about like what's been going on with everything, you know, like because Hank showed up at the shop. And that's where we get like the whole thing. Oh, like, come on, Peggy, you can show up and just give me a little smooch on the cheek, you know. And she's like, "End this, Bill, end it." And I'm like, "Ooh, okay." And then we move on to like Bobby back at the restaurant, and he is basically trying to film his video, and he hears this noise in the back of the restaurant. He's like, "God dang it, the rats are back!" And he goes back there, and he sees a woman wearing like hippie new age clothes kind of, and she's digging through the grease trap or grease like collecting thing and collecting grease in jars. And we come to find out that Bobby has like the best grease in town for I forget exactly what the grease is used for. Candles. I don't remember. Candles. It's like
candle soap.
Candles and like I think like skin stuff. I think it was.
Yeah, and soap.
It's soap, yeah. And like we find out this is a new character named Willow. And Bobby kind of takes a shining to her and they end up getting like drinks or leftover sake at the restaurant. We find out that Willow actually went to the same college as Connie for a little bit. And Bobby's like, I don't need college. I have the college of life. I have to say, I really like the character of Willow. I think she's a fun addition. She's a fun addition to the show. And when we get to it, like, she has a bigger episode next episode. But, like, Bobby and her end up hooking up. And Bobby wakes up. Bobby has nothing in his apartment. Like, in his room, it's just a bed and an end table. There's nothing on his wall. Like, I'm like, Bobby, come on now.
Which I don't know if they necessarily hooked up in this episode.
No, they did. Like,
okay,
yeah, they hooked up, and so they hook up and like, well, this is towards the end of the episode because we didn't talk about what happened with Bill and fake Peggy, but we'll go back to it. So like. Joseph wakes up Bobby and he's like, dude, there's a girl in the tub. It's kind of hot. And Connie shows up and she's like, hey, Bobby, can we talk? You know, this and that. And Joseph's like, Connie, I support your religion and I love it. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, they start talking about E&M and stuff and how like, apparently she sent Bobby some apology cookies for what happened the other day and stuff. And then we get the big reveal that Willow to Connie, the big reveal is like, oh, Bobby had somebody sleep over. And I feel like that kind of changes Connie a little bit into like almost like a jealous type.
Yeah, I agree.
But like we see that Willow has like written her name and number on the bathtub and lipstick, and like Bobby's like, yeah, Willow stayed the night last night, and Connie is not my girlfriend. Willow, would you like to hang out with me and Joseph on the balcony? Connie, you can come too. Which I like this about Bobby. Like he's not like pussy whipped with Connie. Like he
Yeah.
is like taking a stand. I don't know if that's the right word of saying pussy whipped, but he is taking a stand and like being like, yeah, this is me right now. Yeah, I had a girl sleep over. She's a little odd, which I love the fact that she like calls Connie out on her bullshit.
Yeah.
She,
I just hope like she stays good for him, because I can definitely see how she could be a little unrealistic and it could send Bobby down a different road. If that
so,
makes sense.
do you want spoilers?
No.
I'm going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you the details, but I will say Willow and Bobby do not last the next episode.
See? Look, I knew it.
But here's the thing. I liked Willow and Bobby together. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was something they should have explored more
Yeah.
moving forward. I would like Willow to come back as a character
Yeah.
because I think she is fun and she is kind of unpredictable a little bit.
We need to have that episode from this season of where like all the girls that Bobby hooks up with, they all come back.
Cause like at one point, like he takes her home to meet Hank and Peggy.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and like she's just a fun, weird character, thrown into this King of the Hill world, and like she only gets 2 episodes, which that's the part that I hate about this. Is she to me she is a fun character, and I feel like she brings out some interesting parts of Bobby
Yeah.
in his personality, and I didn't want him to go back to Connie so soon. Which by the end of this season, he is in a relationship with Connie. Sad to say,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Spoilers: he's in a relationship with Connie. I mean, you probably could have seen it like a mile away coming.
You monster. Why do you spoil all this shit for me?
I didn't say how they got into a relationship.
Can I just have like stuff to myself, damn it?
But I didn't spoil how. Okay, I didn't spoil how and whatnot. Which it was just that's probably the biggest disappointment. Is I liked Willow as a character.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think she's fun. I hope maybe she comes back with Joseph. Maybe she is Joseph's girlfriend.
Oh god. I don't need
Yeah.
that. I don't need
I
that in
think
my
the
life.
world needs Joseph and Willow together.
I don't need that in my life, sir.
Or maybe just being like a friend to Bobby. I don't know.
Or maybe getting some Chang Wasanas on.
No, I feel like she's too good for Chain.
Yeah.
But
But
anyways,
you know.
let's move away from Bobby and his new freaky not
You know,
long girlfriend.
there's a lot of there's a lot of girls too good for Chang.
Yeah.
They're just too stupid.
True. And so we move from that situation to Peggy and Hank, and we find out that Bill has put it into things. He's put it into things where he basically told the guys that Peggy had died in a Belize kite sailing accident. I think it was. And he's like, what? And so like he's having a party for like a funeral or whatever for this fake wife. And Hank's like, oh my god, like I can't believe you're doing this. And he's like, but Hank, they brought me food. Not every culture brings you food when people are mourning after a loved one has died. And he's like, every culture does that, Bill. And he's like, I've been mourned several times and nobody has brought me food at all. Which I find to be really funny. I have to
Yeah,
say. But I'm gonna let you take this part.
At the funeral,
Yeah, at the funeral.
um, you have where everybody's kind of like memorializing Peggy and Bill's relationship, and I think you do get a really good part where Peggy goes over there to actually talk to him about it, and she stops right before the sliding glass door and then kind of hides behind the wall
Yeah.
as Bill is giving like this really great speech about all the accomplishments that like Peggy has and things like that. And I feel like most of them were actually true.
Yeah, they were
He
true.
didn't really like make anything up about her.
Yeah.
Like she believed he would. And then she ends up like leaving and saying, like I'm not going to do that. But then the last guy that was walking up from the barber shop,
yeah.
believes that he sees like her ghost leaving the party, and I was like, this is such a great ending to this episode.
Yeah.
Such a great ending.
Yeah, no, for sure. But all in all, you know my thoughts about this episode. What did you think about this episode, Jen?
I really liked this episode. I have to say that I'd probably give this episode like a 5 out of 5 still.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Everything else, I think everything lined up perfectly with this episode because you had kind of like this, I don't want to call it infidelity. I mean, it was like fake infidelity with Bill, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course, like you had the E&M stuff with Connie and Chang.
Yeah.
And, kind of like really testing the waters, I feel like, for Connie and Bobby. God, I feel like I need shit to happen for Joseph because I feel like there wasn't enough that happened this episode for Joseph.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Joseph kind of gets put on the back burner.
And then they do get the rats back out because
They do get the rats. Forgot about that.
Dale decides that he's going to get the sexy rat out there, and they
Yeah.
actually, the other two rats end up getting into the cage with the female rat, and I love how they said that. He goes, I'm gonna have to tell Dale, and Dale's in the ceiling and goes, see, I told you it would work.
Why is he in the ceiling? Like, I don't know why he's in the ceiling.
I don't know either.
Was it because he was fixing the hole he fell through?
I mean, he may have went to go fix it back up, but
because at the end he does say he fixed the hole, which he didn't do a very good job.
He said he temporarily did it before he could get the mice back again.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a fun episode.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, where can they find us, Jen?
You can find us everywhere that you can find the Otakuology podcast and our shows. You can find me, Bard's Tavern, Jen Graves, and Manga Restart on those Instagram channels, as well as, of course, also on the Otakuology podcast.
And make sure to like and tell your friends. Go check out our YouTube channel, Otakuology, where we stream every other weekend, I want to say. We'll do like a live stream discussion. And you can find me at The Otaku Mike on YouTube as well. Or my other podcast, Usagi Pod Jimbo, which has come back for the time being. It's come back. But yeah. Anyways, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.